ago, I was stepping out of a very heinous 10-year marriage. And I had bought myself a little rectangle of a house near my kids' grade school. And I was so proud of myself and so happy because for the first time in a really long time, I was going to have my own space and I was going to be living on my own, caring for my kids in my own place. The person that I had been married to said to me before I left that he would give me no more than a week in the house before I would come crawling back, begging him to help me because I was so incompetent that there was no way that I was going to be able to manage living in a house on my own. That's why I don't have that husband anymore. Anyway, so I get this house. My kids are spending the week with Mr. Congeniality, and it's my first week at the house. I went to IKEA, I got into Hawk, I bought all this new stuff, I built all this furniture. Actually, my friends built all this furniture, because this is supposed to be a true story. And so I was coming home from work. It was November, it was dark, it was cold, it was raining. I pulled into my garage, and I opened the door to my family room from my garage, and I walked into my family room, and I was like, what am I gonna do today? And I looked at all the IKEA boxes, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna break all these IKEA boxes down, and I'm gonna recycle them, because I'm a good steward of the environment. I am woman, hear me roar. I can do this. So I put all my stuff down in the family room, and I took the first bunch of boxes out to the garage, and I started to fold them and break them and step on them so they could fit into the recycle container, and then all of a sudden I hear a click as the door closes. And I thought, okay, this is fine. This is fine. I'm sure that I unlocked the door. I'm sure I did that. So I walked over to the door and I tried the knob, and it was locked. And I felt my heart start to sink. And I thought, okay, well, I'm just gonna go to the front door because who knows, maybe I forgot to lock it this morning. Now, everyone who knows me knows I'm incredibly paranoid, and of course I locked the door when I left in the morning, because I'm a woman living alone, damn it. So I tried the front door, and it was locked. And now I'm starting to hear Mr. Congeniality in my head saying, you will not last a week. And I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna go around the back and I'm gonna try the sliding door and see if I can get in through the sliding door. Maybe that's unlocked. So I went back, and of course it was locked. And the first thought I had was, all right, I give up. Maybe I should just figure out how to get in touch with him. He doesn't live that far from here. Maybe I could walk over there. And then I thought, no, I am not. If I have to break the window, I am not gonna go over there. So I'm standing in front of my house, and it's raining and it's cold, and everyone who knows me knows I hate rain and cold. I don't know, I live here, I know that. Story for another time. And I decide I'm gonna go over to my neighbor's house, and maybe they can help me. So I go next door, brand new neighbor, right? And I knock on the door. Porch is dark, but there's lights inside the house. And so I hear the commotion of someone walking to the door, and the door opens. Now, the person at the doorway is backlit, so I can't really see the person very well. I just know that this person is incredibly tall, like super tall, and there's a halo, like around their head, like RuPaul tall with a halo. And I said, hi, my name is Amalia. I just moved in next door, and the woman at the door said, oh, right, yes, with the 2 kids. I'm Kitty. I said, well, Kitty, I'm a little embarrassed, but I locked myself out of my house that I just moved into, and I was wondering if I could use your phone and maybe call a locksmith. Oh my gosh, come on in. She brings me in the house. We step into the foyer, and I notice that Kitty is really no taller than I am. She's just sandwiched between very high heels and very tall hair. So she says, you are not gonna call the locksmith because that's going to cost you a fortune. So we're going to help you get in your house. So she calls to her husband, Peter. So Peter comes in, and Peter is like Mad Men without the jacket. He's got like the long sleeve shirt, the tie, the slacks. He comes out and she's like, Peter, this is our next door neighbor. And she locked herself out of the house. Oh, that's terrible. I hate that when that happens. Yeah, so do I, Peter. So really, if you could just let me use your phone, I would call a locksmith and be out of your hair in a moment. And Peter said, no, we're not going to do that. That's going to be way expensive. We're going to figure it out. So he goes to the kitchen and he gets a flashlight and he says, I will be right back. So he goes over to my house, and my house is 1,000 square feet, so it takes 5 minutes. He's walking around with a flashlight. He goes around the entire perimeter. I'm standing in the porch with Kitty with my fingers in my mouth. He comes back and he says, I've got some good news and some bad news. I said, okay, well, just give me the bad news. He said, the bad news is your house is an impenetrable fortress. I said, okay, so what's the good news? He said, the good news is your house is an impenetrable fortress. And then he and Kitty just burst out laughing. Oh, Peter, so So I said, if I could just have that phone and I could just call the locksmith. No. You know what? I still have Bob and Barbara's phone number, the people that you bought the house from. Let's call them first, just in case. Okay, so we go back in the house, and Kitty picks up the phone, and she makes the phone call, and it goes something like this. Barbara, it's Kitty. How are you? I know, it's been so long. We miss you already. How's the new place? Is it great? Oh, I love that. What about Bob? How's his back? Oh, we're so glad to hear that. You know, we just talk about you all the time. I was despairing ever seeing the inside of my home again. I was imagining that maybe I would just move in, be like one of their kids, and they wouldn't notice. Anyway, she finishes the conversation with Barbara saying, really? Well, okay. Well, thanks. No, that's great. Say hi to Bob. Okay, bye. She hangs up the phone. She turns to me, and she takes my hand, like that child I was going to be, and she says, I have something to show you. And she marches me out of her house, down the porch steps, across her lawn, across my lawn, to my garage, and around the side of my garage, where I notice, for the first time, a little tiny box with buttons on it. And she said, Bob and Barbara thought that you might have an emergency like this someday. What are the 4 numbers of the address that you left before you moved here? And I said 2397. So she pushed 2397, open, and the lid fell into my hand, and there was a key inside the lid. I took the key. I wasn't even breathing. I walked to the front door. I put the key in the lock and turned it, and out rushed the warm air of my living room. My door was open. I wept. In the years since, Kitty and Peter's children have left the nest, and Kitty and Peter have left the neighborhood. They are traveling, and I like to imagine them in some kind of Up with People tour, cracking each other up, wandering, looking for hapless strangers for whom to be angels.